Oh shit. Here we go again.
Hello and welcome out to this week's episode of the Gamers Council. I'm your host, WEBDAVE, along with my co-host, Hargeet Chani. Hargeet, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
All right. We had some fun this week. We'll get into it.
Oh, yes. So many wonderful things to talk about. Just when you think there can't be any gaming news. There is some gaming news to talk about. Yes, my mic popped because I hit my cord. Sorry. But anyway, so man, we are so lucky. We got some superstars in the building tonight. Yes, we do. We have the one and only Lohr. Luke, buddy, how you doing, man?
So good. Honored to be here. Good to see you guys. It's been too long. I usually take October off from guesting because I'm so busy at work. So it's really nice to get to hang out with you guys, see you guys, meeting Scrubners for the first time, seeing Hargeet again. It's amazing. So thank you for having me.
Oh, dude, you're welcome, and you're always welcome here, man. We love your insight, your the thoughts and the things that you think about on gaming are important to us, and we really like you to get in here and share those with everybody else. So thank you, sir, for joining us. And of course, we have, let's see, we call him the legend when it comes to Call of Duty, the COD Master Jam. That's him. It is Scrub Nurse. Welcome, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm glad you're having me here. Shout out to the chat. Everybody's going to watch on the replay, gang. Glad y'all here with us. We got some good topics to talk about. So it's good to talk about gaming on a Sunday.
It is. It is. And I'm going to go ahead and pop up a little footage that we're going to be playing. Yeah. Oh, and this is courtesy of Scrub Nurse. And this is from his Twitch channel. Which Scrub, I'm gonna have to. I got it now, so I'm gonna add that to the description here in a little bit, so that people can actually click. I've got your YouTube. Same with Luke. I got your YouTube and got your X on there, but I was gonna add your Twitch to the well, so people can subscribe to you there, and they can always watch you dominate. Look, I'm just telling you right now, Scrub Nurse, he's a little modest. But he's really damn good. So, and if you don't believe me, just watch. just watch. Hargeet, buddy, are you ready for some topics to get into?
Yeah, let's get into it, man.
As we start getting people, we got like 70 people here in the chat already. Thank you so much for joining us, watching us on YouTube and on X. We greatly appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for joining us. And we even have Paris Lilies in the chat. So Paris, welcome to the chat, sir. If you want to jump in and make some comments and be snarky, we'll let you. You know that. But let's see. Oh my God. Well, you know what? I want to bring this up because I like this. King Web. Hargeet, can you read that? Because this is awesome.
Sure. Shout out to the panel and Xbox Nation. We are live.
There you go. Thank you, dear King Web. Thank you so much. And man, it's gonna be Paris. Oh, so I guess his lips are sealed. He had nothing to say right now, but that's okay. We love it, Paris. You know that. Paris is actually super awesome, a great member of the community, and we are very blessed to have him on here.
Super nice dude. I got to meet him in LA. Super nice dude.
There you go. Hopefully, I'll get to meet him maybe next year. Yeah, we're heading that way in June. I'm planning on doing it.
Nice.
So, yeah, exactly. I don't know if I'll get into anything, but I don't care as long as we get to meet up with some of the guys and go to dinner. That's all I care about. All right, so let's I guess let's even though we got Call of Duty playing, let's talk quickly about this subject as we get more people coming in. We got 86 now. Thank you so much for joining us. Hit the like. We'll have Dirt say it.
If you like this video, please hit the like button.
Thank you, Dirt. Dirt Griggity. Shout out to Dirt. So let's talk about some Indiana Jones, and they're saying it's targeting 60 frames per second, and looks like they're hitting it on the Xbox Series X and S. Hargeet, what are your thoughts on that, man? You think it's going to happen?
I mean, it should happen. It's using the tech engine, right? So that's not like abnormal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's doing like ray tracing with high frame rates on Series X with Doom Eternal, right? So doesn't surprise me. That's like tech's just awesome. It just does stuff. So like, yeah, I would have expected that the whole time. So yeah, but it's not shocking that it's going to do that.
I think it's exciting because there's always that doubt in people's mind. It seemed like, oh, well, it's not this, or it's not this, or how come they didn't do this? And if it's right off the bat, then it just eliminates that off the playing field, just shuts that argument down. And I love it. I love it. What do you think it's going to shut them down, or you think they're still going to complain about something?
Wait, you mean for an Xbox game? No. There's already 5 million complaints. The fact that like it's coming to PlayStation, the fact that it's a shitty ass Xbox game, it doesn't matter. It always is going to be something. It doesn't matter. It's an Xbox game. There will be 1,000,001 complaints because it's an Xbox game. That's it. It just doesn't matter.
Wow. Well, there you go. Well, Scrub, we're going to jump up to you next on this particular subject. So what do you think, man? Are you excited to hear that it's going to be 60 frames? Did you think it was going to be?
I was hoping it had a chance to be 60, but we've seen plenty of games, especially nowadays, they'll come out as a 30 FPS, and then maybe later on, a year later, or after the game's been launched, you'll see 60 frames per second upres. So I was excited for it, but to have the chance for it to be like that out of the box, I think it's one less thing people will use to complain about. But I'm excited for it because if I had to choose, I like frames per second. If you say it got to be 4K resolution or 60 frames, I would take 60 frames and have it be at 1440p. That's just me. Game, especially if you're on computer and you can put stuff on ultra settings and still have 60 frames. I like first person shooters, so I'm used to playing something that's around 120. So I love 120. So nothing's wrong with 30. I mean, we played Starfield when it came out as 30, and folks were loving the game. I love the game. So a lot of people are looking at a lot of numbers so they can use it as console war BS. How many times everybody's like, this game's 4K, this game's 4K, and even developers pushing the 4K, but then it'll be 30 frames. And a lot of times you couldn't get higher frames because you're trying to max out on the visuals as much. So I would rather a more smoother gameplay and still have good visuals. So I'm happy that it's possibly going to be 60.
Very cool. Yeah, me too. I'm excited. Lohr. Luke, what are your thoughts on this, buddy? What are your thoughts about? Are you excited about this? You think it's going to happen?
So it's funny. I got to record XEP 249 yesterday, which is cool because it's like almost to a milestone. And
it is. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. I'm honored. I'm excited. But John from Xbox Era came on. He was my guest yesterday, and we talked about some of his experiences with Indiana Jones, and he was so high and so excited about his hands-on time. And I know quite a few others in our community had a chance to go hands-on. And in listening to him talk and then seeing this story, I was struck by two things. One, I don't much care about the frames if the game is good and the game is fun. To your point about Starfield, right? I've had the opportunity to check out VR recently and really enjoying that. And that gives me a very different types of frames per second conversation. It's really become, I guess, for me, it's more about like, am I having fun? Is the game good? When it comes to where we are in the generation and the frames per second aspect, it does feel like we were promised 60 frames from the get-go in this generation, and we're still unreliably getting it. And so I'm the guy that like Scrub was saying, like I prefer the frames per second performance mode. To me, that's the way to go all day. However, it really comes down to gameplay. If I'm having fun, I don't care. I do think no matter what, frames per second will be brought up in social spaces and console war spaces and made to be a weaponized point, which is kind of a disappointing thing because the reality is I just want to enjoy a good game and have fun. And for all intents and purposes, a lot of people seem to have really enjoyed Indiana Jones, which I think is fantastic because COD was a win for Xbox and gamers. It would be nice to see this be one as well. So
there you go. There you go. Yeah, I have to agree with that for sure. That it's you know, it's really good time to be a gamer. Really good time. And as Pong So famously says, it's the golden age of gaming, and it really, really is. It's it's not done. Hargeet, I mean, we're just getting started, really. I mean, because of the pandemic and all that kind of stuff. And I know this generation is like, oh, it should be halfway over. I get that. But things fell in a different pace. But knowing what we got coming the rest of the year, you know, 2 more big games at least, and then we have,
we have more than that. We have Flight Sim
3.
We have Stalker. We have what you call it, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
all first party, right? So, well, okay. So Stalker's not first party,
but sort of. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, they helped groom it, as it were, but it may still come other places eventually.
Yeah. Technically, Flight Sim isn't first party; it's an owned IP, but
true. Well, there you go. All right, so I'm wrong, but anyway, so big games coming from Microsoft on the platform, as it were. But still, that's exciting. And then, of course, next year, holy Christ, next year.
Yeah, we start with Avowed, and we'll go from there, right?
Yeah.
So,
I think it's nice to know we got that in the chamber, though. Don't you think? That's Avowed is we know it's coming. It's from where I stand, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
South by Midnight, I think, is closer than people realize, and that game is looking good.
I can't wait. That looks really good.
It looks so good. I love it. I love everything I'm seeing about it, and
me too.
The stuff I'm hearing, I'm like, okay, all right, we're good. It's fun.
So. Yeah,
and that isn't even the big ones. Is Doom and Fable to come next year as well.
Yeah,
right.
But yeah, along with COD, of course.
Oh, tingles.
I feel like Doom is a lock to be great, which is not a safe thing to say. Right? Like that's a famous last words. However, when I look at Doom, I don't have any questions about its quality or what
what we saw in that preview, right? That's crazy.
Right. But I do think the big question mark will be Fable, and I'm really curious if they can stick the landing there. I hope so, because I'm just oddly confident in South by Midnight. I have no qualms about Doom. Fable, I think, is the one where a lot of things are riding on it.
Yeah, I agree.
I can see that. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't wait till it comes out, though.
Oh, yeah.
I love Fable.
Me too. And it seems like it's going to have that, that nice bit of humor, that the game is known for. So, we did see her kick a chicken, so that's a win-win for me. Oh, goodness. All right. So, yeah, we got over 135 people here in chat joining us today. We're 13 minutes in. Thank you all so much. Over 100 people on YouTube, over 30 people on X watching us live. Thank you all so much for being here. A lot of great members of the community jumping in and joining us. Dreadpool, we see that he's here hanging out with us. Appreciate you, Dread. And then, of course, Paris Lily's hanging out with us. And plus other great members of the community that are just coming through. And I love it. I believe there's going to be a episode of Pixelated Echoes later on this evening. I was talking to Fuzzy about it earlier, and if there is, when this show is over with, we're going to automatically send you to it, so you don't have to worry about that. So when the show's over, we'll send you to that. But they haven't started yet, so don't worry, you won't miss anything, and that's going to be good with the 3-bit and Fuzzy Belvedere. But yeah, so let's we got this great gameplay going, and just full disclosure, this is Scrub Nurse and playing, and from his Twitch channel, which he's graciously let us show. And I'm gonna let. We're gonna to Scrub first. So on this topic, and we'll go some of the extra things, but I want to kind of get your thoughts to everybody about, because you're a diehard player for Call of Duty, and we'll go around the horn to everybody else too. We got other topics on Call of Duty, but what's your impressions on it? I mean, and what were you surprised most that about the game that you really kind of weren't expecting now that it's released? And tell people about your footage too. What we're actually seeing.
What we're actually seeing is I did some footage, Nuketown map, which if you played Black Ops games through the years, Nuketown is always a map that they put in there. They do variations of it each year, kind of change up on it. So they brought back Nuketown map. Actually, they brought it back a week earlier than they were supposed to. It was supposed to come out, I think, the 11th, but some people were complaining about some of the original maps, which they brought out like 12 new maps for the beginning of a new Call of Duty. So since a lot of folks complained, they brought Nuketown out a week earlier. So this is me playing Nuketown 24/7. It's one of the modes where every map you play is Nuketown and different objectives. So I'm pretty good for my age with the graying beards. I'm not a professional, but I try to do as best as I can.
You're too modest.
But as far as the game now stop me if I get long-winded, because there's a lot of stuff I'm liking about the game, and it's showing up in the numbers as well. First of all, everybody knows about the multiplayer, so I'm gonna do the multiplayer last. I advise everybody, if they get a chance, please play the campaign. Even if you have the game now, you strictly only play multiplayer, and it's just going to be another COD campaign. It is totally different. It is totally different where it is now. They have different gameplay styles depending on what chapter of the game you're in. Some of the games feel like just a straight up Michael Bay, very linear, shoot 'em up, blow 'em up type of game, which is what we're used to in Call of Duty, which is so much fun. But then you have elements of like almost like because I don't want to say too much to spoil, but almost like gives you like an essence of BioShock. There's a chapter in there which it feels perfect for a Halloween type area where it's almost like a horror game. I would say if you're going to play this campaign, do it justice and put on a pair of headphones, especially if you have a good pair of surround sound headphones, whatever it is. They don't have to be the top of the line, but I don't think you playing it and having the sound just come from your TV or just from a sound bar is going to do it justice. Like I was saying before we started, if you have on a good set of headphones, the closest it'll be is like almost Hellblade 1 and 2 when you're hearing the voices in your head. Some of the portions of the game, that's what it feels like. If you're a person who, some people love ASMR and the feeling that they get from that, wearing a good set of headphones, you will get that the whole time you're playing the game. It's an awesome feeling. It's definitely worth it. It is totally different. The reason why the number's so high is because people are so happy to play the game. If you're a person who's in the diamond achievements, this is the perfect time to play it on Xbox because everybody's still playing the multiplayer. Now I finished the campaign about almost a week ago. So most of my diamond achievements like 1%, just even finishing the game. But I wouldn't look at it because it's 1% or 4% to finish the game. Now nobody's playing. It's just, that's a Call of Duty game. A lot of people will never touch the campaign. They play the multiplayer. But if you can, the campaign is phenomenal. It's not the best story, but as far as the best feeling, as far as gameplay, nuances to the game and newer stuff in the campaign, this easily can be the best played Black Ops game.
Man,
you've got me so hyped, Scrub, because I've been sitting on it waiting, just haven't gotten to it yet. And when you talk to me about like the audio being as good as Hellblade or second to it, like just about having just working my way through Alan Wake 2's latest expansion and like catching up on this, that has me so hyped to just go in and no life this campaign because I've heard so many good things.
Yes, and it's longer than most everybody's like, campaign's only going to be 4 hours. It's way longer than that. Whatever campaign you think is longer. They even have excuse me, they also, I forgot to say this, they also have a open world chapter as well, where you can spend easily more than 30 minutes on that one chapter because it's open world.
Wow.
And it reminds you of a Far Cry game.
Oh,
That's
dude.
awesome.
That's all in a first person shooter that folks go, oh no, Call of Duty, same Call of Duty, totally different. As far as the multiplayer, it's the gameplay, what it feels like closest to is going to be Cold War. And the reason why I say that is because you can play one Call of Duty and feel like this was the best Call of Duty for you. I've never played so well in Call of Duty in my life. And then the next one comes out and the way it plays, you might be horrible at it. To be like really good at Call of Duty, you have to learn what the parameters are for each game and adapt to it. So if you're a person who likes to run and gun, some games work better for you and some don't. I like to play run and gun. If you like to use marksman rifle and sniper, some work better than the others. So this one works good. We'll call it Cold War. Cold War, my KD was like 1.3, something like that. This one, 1.55. And when I tell that, and like WebDave said, this guy's really good. I don't want that to discourage anybody if they see me on not want to play with me. Right. I play with people who can barely shoot anything. I play with Cerebral Paul
play with
all
me?
the time. Yeah. I'm on funny. There. Yeah, I'm not hard to find. People know me. Like I play with Cerebral Paul. He did his 25-hour stream on Twitch this weekend. I play with him, and I play with him when he gets on, and he might get 5 or 6 kills through the whole match. But we're having fun. This is the perfect game for anybody who just wants to hang out with your bros, your friends, your wife, girlfriend, and you just have some drinks and goof off. This is a great game for it to play. This is a great community game. This was the best, smoothest beta that this game ever came out with. There was not as many bugs, not as many cheaters, not as many getting kicked out. And I think that has something to do with Microsoft, the Azure servers, or whatever they're doing. This was the best run beta. And for the start of Call of Duty, for like a week on out, this has been the smoothest Call of Duty. Magnum says that the time to kill is way too long in this COD. It is longer than some more. So you have to get used to it. For the people who are used to the regular core mode and they think the time to kill is too long, I would advise you either work on it to get better. I'm not saying get good, but you have to work on it because it isn't a change. Or some people just do hardcore. But this is what I'll say for anybody who says the time to kill is too long on Call of Duty, and they play any version of Halo multiplayer, you need to be quiet. If you love Halo multiplayer, the time to kill is always longer than Call of Duty. So if you can play Halo multiplayer and love it, you can still do Call of Duty.
Nice.
It's worth it, y'all. Check it out. It's not just the numbers are higher because Game Pass. It's 60% higher selling over the previous Modern Warfare 3 on Sony and PlayStation. So it's not just the folks, because they're getting it for quote unquote free. People who are paying the full price for it are paying more and buying more copies than they did before. And that's for a reason. Don't think about it. If you're on the fence, just go ahead and do it, especially if you got Game Pass. It's worth it. Why not?
Very cool. Yeah, exactly. Scrub, thank you so much. I appreciate you're breaking that down for us. So Luke, what do you have you jumped on this yet? Have you played any of this yet?
Yeah, so I'm vibing with so much of what Scrub says because I'm enjoying it to the nth degree. I think it's a really good multiplayer experience. I'm pure trash at it. All the Black Ops games I am terrible at. I somehow thrive in Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2. All the Modern Warfares, but all the but all the Black Ops I tend to struggle with. I don't know why that is. I think I'm just bad when it comes to it. That said, I'm really impressed by a lot of what they've put together. It's clear this game sat in development for much longer than previous Call of Duties have, and I think that's really to its credit. My full recommendation is anyone that's on the fence, absolutely take advantage of Game Pass. I really hope more CODs are able to have a longer development time if somehow Microsoft is able to fix the cadence. There's one thing that kind of has stood out to me more than the Modern Warfare experience, and I think it's a problem that Treyarch, Activision, and Xbox all need to tackle, and they need to do it soon. And that's the amount of like racist names in the lobby, way more than Modern Warfare
it's gotten
3.
worse now.
It certainly has gotten worse, and I don't know why it would get worse when it was getting better. I get it's an election year and whatnot, but like it just feels like the filters aren't working a lot, and that's the one aspect of gaming I really liked that I had left behind. And it's a bummer that I feel like it's back in some ways, and so I hope they're able to fix and correct and adjust that part. But gameplay wise, man, this thing is smooth as butter. Having a blast with its multiplayer. I'll also give a shout out to zombies. Really like the zombies mode. I do think people, no matter what you're coming to COD with, whether you want campaign, zombies, or multiplayer, you're getting a great full suite experience, and that's amazing.
Very cool. Very cool. Hargeet, have you played it yet?
I have played very little multiplayer and haven't started the campaign at all. I had a little challenge trying to get it to work with Game Pass. And eventually I figured out what the issue with that was, which solved my issue with Shattered Space. So between the two, I'm like, I'm playing Shattered Space. So
yeah,
I've been playing that for the last, like, say, week or whatever. So I played a little bit of multiplayer. It's COD. And, COD is COD. I've never been a fan of multiplayer COD. And, whatever, it is what it is, right? It's not for everyone. But I usually play Call of Duty campaigns. I will 100% play the campaign. It sounds like it's actually got a lot of different stuff. It usually is just like big, action set pieces. Right, constant, like just action. This one seems to have some variety, which is pretty cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking forward to playing the campaign. But yeah, with the option to finally play Shattered Space, well, yeah, I'm going to play Shattered Space. So I've been in Starfield for a bit now. So once I finish that up, I'll see if it's this or something else. I have so many games to play. Yes. I also bought Metaphor. Haven't started that yet.
Nice.
Like, I'm definitely interested in starting that, but that's gonna be like 100 hours, right?
Right.
So but yeah, so I'll eventually definitely play the campaign. I usually play the campaigns. I've stopped playing Call of Duty ever since the controversy with Activision, and then they were being purchased by Microsoft. I'm like, good. Eventually, these games are all coming to Game Pass. I will play the ones that I've missed. I'll play their campaigns when they're all in Game Pass. So I started Modern Warfare 3's campaign, but it seemed like it was a continuation of 2. And I'm like, well, I'll wait for 2 because I haven't played 2 yet. Right. So I'll wait for that to come to Game Pass. I'll play that one. But yeah, definitely I'll check out the campaign. But yeah, it's smooth, at least. Like I haven't seen any when we were playing it. There were no issues. Like the online, it was all just working. It was great. So, but yes, it's certainly it's Call of Duty multiplayer.
we didn't talk about omnidirectional movement. I see Scrub's comment. Scrub, start off on that one because that I have stuff to say on it too.
Go for it.
What the best thing to do before you play multiplayer, there is a tutorial that teaches you how to use Omni movement, and it's also an achievement. If you do the tutorial, it's an achievement. So nice. There's another reason to play it. Oh yeah, and there's also multiplayer achievements for this game. Usually, you only get, like, if you look at my achievements as far as my score on Xbox, I don't have a lot of them because most of mine are a lot of Call of Duties, and you play the story, you might get 300 worth of achievements, and that's about it. If you played 1,000, fine. But this one, you have a lot that you can get. I think I have almost 900 achievement points playing the story and the multiplayer. Nice. But Omni movement is good. You do not have to use Omni. A lot of folks go, I don't feel like jumping around and doing all that. You can play the game and you can do well and not have to use Omni movement. If you're watching this, you rarely see me diving around like an idiot, shooting around corners. I use it for certain instances when I know somebody is there and I have a chance to jump, get a jump on them. I'll slide more than I do anything, and that's normal Call of Duty. So Omni movement is fun. You get these ridiculous kill and all of that, but once you get used to it and practice it just through the tutorial, you can use it in the game. It's nothing so hard to learn. And like I said, you can play the whole game without doing any of that crazy diving and flipping around. But it helps out a lot, especially when you dive onto your back and somebody comes around the corner, you're already ready to get a pop on them.
Scrub, I feel like there's a lot more sliding. I'm getting wrecked by these kids sliding around. Is that something I need to learn?
Yes. You see on here, you move faster through the map than regular running. So you run, slide. A lot of times what you'll do is you'll come around a corner. If you get the slides, a lot of people are aiming chest high toward headshots. You see how I slid around that corner? And then get a kill because folks have to adjust. And with the timing, you can slide under people and shoot them before they can aim their gun down to shoot you. So that's why you'll see a lot of sliding around.
Gotcha.
Nice.
How do you shoot around cover or corners on Black Ops? There is a mounting feature. I took mounting off where you can walk up to an edge of a brick wall or something and look around. But what they also have too, which is more that you'll see like SWAT teams and stuff, when they come around corners and they're starting to turn their body before they get to the edge of that corner so they can be aiming straight down what they're supposed to do down the hallway. There's a setting in the game that automatically has you do that if you're scoped down. So it turns your body and everything and right when you're ready to go down. But there's a mounting feature. It's already set in your game, but to mount, a lot of times you have to be aimed down your scope and then hit the button to mount. And if you go in your settings, you can change how you mount the game, mount your gun. You can make it where you automatically, if you walk up close enough to the edge, it puts you in a mount feature and you can look left and right sitting on that corner, or you can press a certain button and it causes you to mount. So it all depends on how you do your settings.
Very cool. Luke, any more things you want to add to that about the Omni setting?
Only that it's been an adjustment for me because of, and Scrub addressed it quite well, the amount of sliding and how I need to learn that aspect. And he said the tutorial really does serve you well, and the achievement does, I think, help with that. But if you're an old like me and you're stuck in your ways, I think you're going to suffer with the omnidirectional movement versus being willing to learn. And you got to be willing to learn if you want to keep up. And so I'm having to take the time to relearn how to play or to move around. But everybody that I know that has taken the time to do that swears by it. And that tells me, okay, I need to just open my mind up a little bit and adjust and approach the game slightly differently. Yeah.
Yeah. And Bunty, we appreciate you too, sir. So, I guess, I mean, like I said, the game looks great. It looks amazing. But Luke, are you in your 20s, your 30s? I mean, come on.
I will be 39 in less than 20 days.
Okay. So, you're not so old.
That 4-0 scaring him. That's the only reason why he's saying he's getting older, because that 4-0 scaring him. Once you passed it, you won't. It's nothing.
I'll tell you, my students. I'm a teacher by day, and they every day they're like, "Mr. Lohr, you're getting a little more gray," and I'm like, "Come on, man.
It's mean.
Come on, man. It's crazy."
And you're like, "You know that test you got? Failure."
Yeah.
Just kidding.
That's right.
No, there's no curve. Not for you.
No.
Oh, Web, one last thing.
Yeah.
There is a trick as well.
Okay.
Because when you start off with games, you start off with the base gun with no attachments, and you feel like you can't shoot anybody.
Right.
If you have Game Pass and if you paid the $30 to get the upgrade with the Battle Pass and all that stuff, guess what? You get blueprints with this gun. With whatever guns that they put a blueprint on, you can start the game if that gun's already unlocked with that blueprint. And if that blueprint has a suppressor on it and a scope and I don't know, an underbarrel and all that stuff, you can use that starting out at the very beginning. And that'll kind of give you a little heads up to having to start out with nothing on your gun. Even if you prestige, because with the prestige is back to old school prestige, where once you hit 55, level 55, you go back to 1. There's no more of going from 1 to 1,000. You have to prestige, so you go back down to 1. So when you do that, you lose everything and start back at the beginning. But if you have any gun that you got a blueprint on, you can go back to that gun when it unlocks, use that blueprint, and you get all that blueprint has. So it helps you move along faster with the gun instead of using the base one and feeling like you'll never get any better when you start out.
Very cool. It's good to know, man, because I know I got that thing, but I was like, I don't really know what I bought because I haven't been into the game yet, but I'm going to get in. Now that I'm back I'm on day shift for 9 months of being on overnights. So, and tomorrow, I got some things I got to do in the morning, and then all afternoon and all evening tomorrow night.
Nice.
It's game time. Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I did play with Pissed in the chat. Played with him a couple of times. Yeah, we had a good time.
Very cool.
Play with several folks. Y'all hit me up if y'all see me on Xbox or see me on Activision. Y'all just hit me up. I don't mind playing with anybody. We're gonna have a good time. It helps me because if I play by myself, I'm in some of the sweatiest lobbies ever created, and it makes my head hurt. So if I have other people to play with, it helps me out as well.
Definitely. When you're with friends, or at least people that are, I mean, they may pick on you, but it's a friendly way. You know what I mean? And have a lot of fun, and you can get razz everybody and stuff, and they can razz you and stuff. That's what's fun, man. That's gaming, man. That's old school gaming. But you're right. You can get some really stupid motherfuckers out there. I'll just say it. So, but yeah, it's and none of that. Like Luke, you were talking about. Some of the names and stuff. It's like, dude, what's wrong with you? Yeah. So there's some crazy, silly people out there, and a lot of times they just do it to get attention. So anyway, what I do for attention is have a YouTube channel. Hi, welcome to the channel. So yes, we've got 185 people here so far. Thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate you being here and hanging out with us. And oh yeah, this has crossplay. Yes, it does. It does have crossplay. So you can play with anybody, everybody. Let's see. Oh, I like this. Everybody is muted except my party when I play. That's good. That's a good way of doing it. I like that. That's good. That's a good feature that you can set it to. That's pretty cool. So let's talk about. All right. I'm going to pause this for just a second, but we are going to play some more of it there, Scrub, for sure.
Pause. Do whatever. This is your channel.
I know, but I'm enjoying watching it. In case you hadn't noticed. But yeah, so this is a nice little thank you, I guess, that came out from Call of Duty themselves. Just want to thank the Call of Duty community for making the launch of Black Ops 6 one for the record books, setting new day one and opening weekend records. That's awesome. That's awesome. And actually Satya Nadella, let's see. Here we go.
So if this is about competition, let us have competition.
Yeah. So Satya even said that yeah. So it was the biggest growth in one day for Game Pass because of this game. That more people signed up for Game Pass for Call of Duty. And Hargeet, wasn't that what they wanted? Isn't that a win? Seems like a win.
Yeah, I mean, it's this is what they were trying to do, right? Expand Call of Duty, and There's several ways to do that. One is, hey, look, now some 30+ million, however many subscribers of Game Pass have access to this game. A lot of people who would never play Call of Duty can just try it. And that expands the number of potential players, right? So Call of Duty was going to get, a potential growth vector from just being in Game Pass. Game Pass itself also gets to take advantage of Call of Duty and increase its subscriber base. So both things happened. So Call of Duty was helped by Game Pass. Game Pass was helped by Call of Duty. So that's exactly what they were looking to do, right? And by the way, we still have a whole new platform that's going to be happening at with Nintendo whenever that new Nintendo console is announced. They're going to be releasing this on there as well, and that should add even more players, right? So it's exactly what they were looking to do, right? Biggest Call of Duty launch ever. Big numbers. This is what you expect to see when things go right with a Game Pass launch. So they're getting a lot of sales on Steam and PlayStation. 60% increase. I think you were saying that, Scrub, right? There was a 60% increase from Modern Warfare 3 of Black Ops 6 on Steam and PlayStation. So there's a massive increase there, and those are just direct sales. And then on top of that, you have this massive number of players who tried it just because, hey, it's in Game Pass. What the heck, right? Like, what is it to you? It's a download, right? So you just get to try it. And this is the Game Pass effect, right? It suddenly adds, and that's what I was expecting. There would be, at least millions of players that would say, what's it to me? I'm gonna just try it. What the heck? I've never played a Call of Duty, but give it a chance, right? What the hell? And that's what they were looking to do, right? And this was a good one to do, right? Because the campaign actually had a variety of gameplay modes, right? So that it actually gives you a variety of different things instead of just big action set pieces, which is cool, right? It gets people kind of interested in, hey, like, this is a varied campaign that could be interesting to get into. Hopefully they continue that pattern, right? And the next one's also like that, which would be awesome. So exactly what they were hoping to get. It's also one of the more highly rated Call of Duties in a long time, right? So it's getting there. This is kind of what you needed to see. So all around good stuff. The other part of this is, like, this is not part of the financials. This was just an addendum that they were saying, hey, just because it just launched, we'll just tell you. And when the CFO and the CEO come out and say these things, you know what that means? They're effing happy. They're happy with the results, right? They're happy, which is good news. That means that, like, it's working, and this is what they wanted to see, and they're seeing the results that they're expecting to get, right? This is good stuff, right? So I don't know what this means as far as number of subscribers. The last time we heard this was Starfield. And Starfield, I don't know how many it added, but it seemed to be in that, like, 2 to 3 million range. If it's bigger than that, right, you're looking at quite a bit of a jump. So they could be close to 40, if not over 40 at this point. And if that's the case, you should look to see this pattern continue, right? Because this is one of those big annual games. There are other big annual games that come out, and the two that have them are EA and Take-Two. Don't be surprised if that's the next thing they look at, right? And say, all right, well, we want NBA 2K, we want Madden or FIFA or something like that, right? Like, they might go after it. Now, the thing with EA is it's already in Game Pass, right? They already have EA in Game Pass. That makes Take-Two the more interesting target. But look, this is the formula. You want to make this thing go to 50, you want to go to 60. What's the thing that's going to get you there? It's these big games that people want to keep playing and buying, right? So that's it. That's the thing, right? The formula is in front of them. They know what they need to do. The CFO and CEO see it, right? And this is what Phil's been touting. This is what they want to do, right? So these great numbers, great stuff. But we just need to kind of see how it keeps going. And that's the first freaking weekend, right? Yeah. We still have the holiday season to go, right? We will see where this ends, right? And how this plays out for the rest of the year. We'll get those numbers, like October, November, December will happen. We'll get that in January, February, when we get those financials from Microsoft to see where they end up. And does this substantially change things? There's a little bit of an uptick in players playing on Xbox as well, which is cool. But is that going to substantially change the platform? Is it going to increase the number of players? We don't know. It could. All the regulators and Sony were very afraid of that. They were saying that it's going to be there will be a shift. We'll see if it materializes, right? We'll see if that actually happens. So far, 60% increase. That's crazy. And that's on the other side. What happens on this side, right? So far, everybody's winning. That's really what this means. Everybody's winning.
Yeah.
So this is great stuff, right? There's nobody here is losing out here. Steam's happy. PlayStation's happy. Xbox is happy. Right? This is great. And Nintendo's going to play in the mix at some point.
Yeah.
They're going to be happy too, right? This is like so far, so good, right? It also makes the case for Microsoft saying, hey, if we go after somebody like Take-Two, we're not doing this as an exclusivity play. We don't care to do that. We want to expand it, just like Call of Duty. We want to make it bigger. So, they have that roadmap, right? So this is kind of the thing that they wanted to do, right? Just showcase, we're trying to make this bigger, just like Minecraft. We took it from here and doubled it. That's what we want to do here. That's what they're going to try to showcase, right? And hopefully they do, right? That this is good for Call of Duty. It's good for the player base, and it's good overall for the industry to have games grow. That's a good thing. So far, so good. We'll see where it goes from here, right? So
exciting. For sure. Yeah, exactly. Hargeet, I know you let you catch your breath there. But read what Fillmore Pockets put up. I thought this was interesting.
Comcast recorded the biggest week in internet history. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 pre-launch accounted for 19% of total network traffic. Holy crap.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, buddy. And wow, that's huge. And like you said, two things out. I'm gonna go to our guest, but two things to thing on. It's coming to Nintendo's probably next gen system whenever they release, or next generation system, not next gen, but their next system most likely is going to be powerful enough to run it. So that's more sales, more stuff, more things that are coming, and then it's so successful. Like you said, right off the bat now, and to think if this gets people in the habit of every year it's coming to Game Pass, every year, all the new COD coming into Game Pass, and then eventually, hopefully, they're going to trickle in, the rest of the older ones, and have the nostalgia stuff that way too. keep that coming. Keep. Go ahead.
And look, they have Stalker 2 dropping in in November, right? So for those who are FPS players, it's like, hey, you get another potential stellar FPS.
Yes.
We don't know yet, but so far previews say it's going to be good. It's going to be pretty good. And if that's another massive hit and it's in Game Pass, right? It just solidifies that, like, hey, Game Pass gives you all these games. You just stay subscribed. You get all this stuff day and date, right? So we'll see how that goes. If I hope like that game turns out to be one of those Game of the Year contenders, because it gets its spotlight, right? And it also just gives you that, hey, you got two massive FPSs coming in within the same month-ish time frame into Game Pass day and date, right? So we'll see how that plays out, right? We also have Flight Sim coming, which also looks like it might be really, really good. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. So many wonderful things that are coming. Oh, it reminds me of that line from Batman when the Joker, Jack Nicholson's Joker, where does he get those wonderful toys? Oh yeah, Game Pass, exactly. So Luke, the big thank you for Call of Duty, huge success. What are your thoughts, man? And then this, I mean, come on, tell me what you're thinking.
I mean, it's only good news. I think it's nice to see that for the first Call of Duty under Xbox's banner to launch into Game Pass, to drive the traffic, to score well critically, to be well received by fans, is a nice win all around. It, I think, is some proof in the pudding of letting a game be in development as much time as it needs, which is difficult to do when you have an annualized cycle. But also, I think it it is helping me, I guess, as an Xbox gamer, as somebody who really wants to see Microsoft succeed. That maybe it's not the worst thing in the world to go multi-platform all the time, seeing the success Diablo has had by being in Game Pass and elsewhere, seeing Call of Duty do well by being in Game Pass and elsewhere. I think it's helpful in changing my mindset where, you know, I'm regularly thinking like exclusive Xbox, Halo shouldn't be here. Maybe I need to adjust more. And we're seeing the whole industry shift in that direction. And I don't know what the right answer is truly, but when I see numbers like this, when I see fans happy across the board, when I see Game Pass subscribers, Game Pass players being rewarded for being Game Pass subscribers and players, and then others can buy in at their leisure, I feel better about it, because Hellblade, while I loved it, didn't light the world on fire. And Starfield, while I loved it, didn't light the world on fire in the same way that I think Black Ops is doing. So I really like seeing these wins for the system and for the mantra, because Game Pass subscribers have been deserving and owed, I think, an all-around W nonstop on this scale. Those that are already in Game Pass know that like there's so much goodness there, but this might bring more people in to just play hit after hit, because Game Pass is just wonderful toys, right? Like there's so much goodness there. This might turn heads towards this program that deserves to be 40, 50 million strong, because it is that good. So that's my point. I think, Dave, you're muted.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
There you
I got the board. I got it set up where I still hear myself even if I'm muted. So,
gotcha.
But yeah, thank you. Good points is what I said to you.
Yeah,
good points.
Cheers. Cheers. All right.
Cheers. Exactly. Says like cheers. And even though it's just a Pepsi Zero, but actually, yeah, Pepsi Zero sugar. Anyway,
mine's water.
It's great. Scrub, what do you think, man? What are your thoughts? I mean, Game Pass, Call of Duty, match made in heaven.
Well, this was a perfect storm that just worked out perfectly for Xbox and Microsoft. First of all, if you look at history of Call of Duty games, usually Black Ops is the most critically acclaimed and sells the most. I mean, pretty much every Call of Duty beats the previous one on sales, but as far as the one that most people are excited most critically acclaimed is the Black Ops series. So anytime you have a Black Ops series, it's going to bring more eyes, more attention to the game. So that helps out Xbox as well to come out, have the campaign, the gameplay, and they changed up some stuff. The way the game is played helped bring the game more credit. And then I will say too, a lot of people were mad because Xbox did not do well as far as marketing their games. You can see it with Hellblade. Some people said they didn't do enough with Starfield. And if Microsoft used more of Activision marketing people to do this, they made the right decision, because I saw the replacer everywhere, on regular TV, on YouTube, on Twitter. He was on different people's podcasts. If you go right now and go to Twitter and look up a GIF to use for whatever you're doing on Twitter, they had the replacer do a copy of almost every popular GIF that's out there. They have a version of his face. If you just go to Twitter right now and act like you're about to add a GIF and just hit replacer, all your favorite memes, Kermit Frog drinking tea, Leonardo DiCaprio and Django, and all these different ones, you know, the old man in the winter woods just looking and nodding his head, all those different GIFs the replacer did for Call of Duty. Like I said, Barstool Sports, the replacer had it on there. Shannon Sharp Club Shay replacer was interviewed on there. You saw Call of Duty plastered on Times Square anytime you went to a store. Every computer screen that you saw, Okay, Brian Scully, I'll say GIF as well, so everybody will be good. I said it both ways, so everybody's happy. This was just, they did so well on the marketing. They even this year they had a YouTube Call of Duty podcast that has 3 to 4 episodes about Call of Duty and what's going to happen, what's coming up with Call of Duty before the show started. So they did a lot to put this game out. The fact that they had the marketing rights, that this was a Black Ops game, that it was then also in Game Pass. This was like a perfect storm. I want people to know that when we're talking about Call of Duty and it being to Microsoft, put it in Game Pass was one of the best things they could do, and not because, oh, we got it in Game Pass and so many people can play it. You have people using this false narrative, oh, well, I can play it for 1 or 2 months and then I can cancel my Game Pass. Here's the thing. Most people who play Call of Duty do not play it for just a couple of days or weeks and then they're done. They play it, not just hardcore gamers, but casual gamers who pick it up every now and then on the weekend or when they have some free time. If you start off in Game Pass and you cancel your Game Pass, guess what? You don't have Call of Duty anymore. You got to buy it full price. So what's easier for somebody to do in their head? Let me go buy the $100 version after I cancel my Game Pass, or just pay the Game Pass Ultimate $15 a month or whatever Game Pass and just do that for the rest of the year. Plus, with that, have all the other games that are along there with first party, third party games, and whatever indie games come in there. Most people are not going to get this, play the campaign, and then cancel their Game Pass subscription. So when you see the Game Pass numbers reach, I know Starfield was the last one that had the numbers this high, and then Call of Duty eclipsed it. I'm not surprised. Also, this is not for them to have it on Game Pass, and Call of Duty is not to get all PlayStation Sony users off of PlayStation 5 and move over to Xbox. They don't need to. They're getting 70% of all sales, not just on the game, on every cosmetic, on every battle pass, whatever you think of. So you don't necessarily have to move over from PlayStation to Xbox for them to get your money. Plus, it's on the Fire Sticks. It's on NVIDIA. It's on Samsung TVs. So people who have never thought about consoles, they know about Call of Duty. They want to check it out. Their friends have the hype. I still have people to this day ask me, what is Game Pass? And they've been playing Call of Duty or whatever kind of video game. They've had Xbox, PlayStations, whatever, and they still don't know what Game Pass is. So this is just only going to bring more eyes to this thing. And I'm just happy that is working out so well, because this obviously with any game could have been a dud. There have been Call of Duties where people say they hated it and there was a extreme backlash. That happened with Modern Warfare 2, especially Modern Warfare 3, since it was almost like an add-on. They made Modern Warfare 3 just so they could have somebody to finish their contract with Sony, really. So for all of this to work out so well all at the same time, it is just a perfect storm, and I'm happy about it.
Me too. I'm excited. Anybody else got any other thoughts?
One thing I like that Scrub said was about how it's available in so many places. And as a recent adopter of VR, and like I'm in that world now, like I'm just loving the VR spaces. I experience it. The MetaQuest has this wonderful cloud, Xbox cloud gaming app where for at 120-inch screen, effectively like in front of you, you can just play. And the other night, I was on an Xbox. My bud was on an Xbox. His girlfriend was on her PC. He was on a PC, but via cloud, and another friend was on a PlayStation, and we were all just playing Black Ops. And the amount of ways to connect with people is higher than it's ever been, and continuing to expand into mobile, into VR, into other places. And it's just cool. It's just cool that is a thing. And for Black Ops 6 to be this good and drive so much attention to all those new places, I'm curious if they see metrics. Is it improving and increasing cloud gaming? Are people using, their mobile? Are they going into COD mobile, or are they doing, the Xbox Game Pass app. What's the approach, or the cloud gaming app? So I'm curious if they get to watch this drive metrics in other ways that pays dividends, maybe not Call of Duty numbers 1-to-1, but they see an uptick in cloud usage or logging in, via different devices, whether it's a MetaQuest or a mobile phone or whatever else.
Yeah. It's such an exciting time to be alive and be a gamer, isn't it, Hargeet?
Yeah. So one other thing I'll note is that when Call of Duty was marketing with Xbox, Call of Duty was doing well. Call of Duty switches to PlayStation for marketing. Call of Duty starts declining. Call of Duty comes back to Xbox. It's the biggest launch in history. One of the most critically acclaimed Call of Duties ever. Just saying.
Yeah. You wonder if there's a correlation with that, and I think you're onto something, for sure. And it's it's really good that I mean, I'm glad to see it for Microsoft, because a lot of people, all the naysayers and people that like, oh, they shouldn't do this. And I don't want to buy any more studios, and I don't want them to do this, and it's like, times are changing, man. No matter what, life goes on, life grows, the industry has to grow. We have to go roll with the changes. I mean, I remember the days when I played my Nintendo, and had friends who were like, "Oh, I'm on my Sega, I'm on my Nintendo," and they're back. Dude. I mean, I get the console warring for sure, and that's cool. But when it comes down to it, fuck, man, I want my games. I want games. I want them. I want them everywhere. And my Shangri-La will be if Xbox, Microsoft actually makes a dedicated handheld Xbox system that's where you can download your games to it and play it there natively, and maybe, like Jez Gordon says, maybe it'll have the ability to also play your Steam library and maybe your Epic Game library. Boy, that would be a game changer, don't you think, guys? Don't you think that would be big?
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially when you have other handhelds that can start doing some of that stuff already. Why not?
Yeah.
You already run on Windows.
Yep.
It's exciting. It's good times. Oh man, so many great members of the community here. We got over 260 people joining us right now. So thank you all so much. We're through the first hour. We have over like 68 people in X, over 200 people now on YouTube watching us live. And if you are watching us live and you want to, we have all these great emojis and stuff that you can get access to. You can do that in a couple of different ways. The easiest way is if you become a member. It is, hey, Plume's here. Tony from Plume Network, Plume Gaming Network is here. What's up, Tony? Great channel. He puts out great content daily. So definitely check it out. He's all the latest gaming news, all the consoles and everything, and PC and everything. He covers everything, and it's great. But as I was saying, you can subscribe to our channel. That's free. Doesn't cost you anything. I greatly appreciate it. Right now, we're hit 3K, and we're on our way to 4K. We're trying to get there, and eventually get to 5K, and blah blah blah. And someday we'll get to I don't know. No, I'll never get to 100K, but we're going to try, just like everybody, we're going to try a little train that could. Anyway, so Dave's lost his mind, but that's okay. So back to what I was talking about is that you can also be a channel member. It's only $1, one little bitty $1. And by doing that, you get access to all these awesome emojis. We got over, 18 emojis now that you can use. Burn them up, have fun. We switch them out every now and again. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to gift 5 memberships right now. Boom. Hargeet, if you want to read off who got one, that would be great.
Sure. It's just unmuting. Let me go back here. All right. We got Radio Matt Gaming, Brian Bocelli, Nerds and Other Legends, The Black John, and Game Kaiser 85.
There you go. There you go. And it's just
Congrats,
random.
congrats.
Yeah, exactly. So, and if you want to become a member, it's just $1. You can join up yourself. That's all. It's all it takes is $1, and cancel anytime. That's all good. But by doing that, you get. Let's see, we have Gears of War. We have Banjo Kazooie. We have Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer. We have oh my God, Ahsoka. I can't even think of her name. From Star Wars. We have, of course, Call of Duty. We have Indiana Jones. We have a pony crying, My Little Pony crying tears. Anyway, we have Marvel's Blade. We have Astro Bot. And then we have Master Chief helmet with a for seasonal purposes. He now has the he now has a Santa hat on, and then TTS for talk that shit. Anyway, that's what that stands for. In case you didn't know. And then of course we have Fallout Boy with the thumbs up, and then we and then we have our pony. I mean our Sony pony icon face, and then Game Pass, and then of course for the election coming up on Tuesday. Remember the 5th of November. It is election day, and we do have in the chat we do have the mask from V from Vendetta on there for this episode only. So burn it up, and it also comes up. It says vote, because you want to make sure that everybody votes. Look, I don't care who you vote for, what you vote for, or any of that kind of stuff. That's we're not political in any way at all. But if you want change in America, or if you want good things to happen, or whatever, vote. Just vote. Just go vote. If you're eligible and you all signed up and ready to vote, don't let it go to waste. It is a right. It's a privilege of being an American citizen to vote, and it is one of the best feelings in the world. Win or lose. If something happens and your candidate of choice doesn't win and you didn't go vote, you absolutely have nothing to bitch about. But if you tried and you get out there, then that's all I can say. Vote. That is my, I'm off my soapbox. But yeah, go vote. It is definitely and I just thought that was funny. It's the 5th of November, and that song plays in my hand. Remember the 5th of November. Yes. So yeah, good movie if you haven't seen it. Natalie Portman and Hugo, whatever his name is. Anyway, a good actor. But anyway,
Weaving.
Weaving. That's it. Very good. Yeah. See, you guys saved me again. Thanks, guys. Dave's that old guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's it. But anyway, yeah, go vote, guys. Please vote. All right. So enough of that. Soapbox done. And we're just going to still play this great footage because it's pretty awesome. So thanks again for Scrub Nurse. We are watching Scrub Nurse play on his Twitch channel, which I'm going to put the link in the description here. And just in fact, Scrub Nurse, you're actually a member of the mod. So if you want to, you can actually share your Twitch channel, drop it in there a couple of times. So if somebody wants to, they can jump over and they can I guess favorite your channel so they can come watch you play. And maybe even get in there and get play with you some, because like you said, he plays with anybody, so it's pretty cool.
I appreciate it. Yeah, anybody want to come run? Y'all definitely join me. Have some fun.
There you go. So Hargeet, let's talk about I don't know, a little subject. We're gonna skip around on our list, but I kind of feeling that you may have some thoughts on this. So Sony is closing 2 PlayStation studios, including the one that made Concord, Firewalk Studios. Completely shut it down, shuttered it, done. Yeah, and that's I believe in the last 2 years, that's a total of 6 studios that they've closed
in the last 4 years, right? This gen, yeah.
Your thoughts, Hargeet, and welcome, Fonz.
First, of course, I guess the folks that are losing their jobs, that sucks. It is what it is. Hopefully they land somewhere. But look, I guess it was kind of a given with the massive failure of Concord, pulling it like less than 2 weeks after release, that it I mean, how much more are we going to spend, right? We don't know the exact facts, right? But what we do know is some internal, leaks, some rumors. A lot of it from Colin, right? Who basically says he has a very solid source that this game cost 200 mil before they were acquired and another 200 after it was acquired. And then marketing and all that, right? So you're talking a very hefty sum to spend to get nothing out of it, right? They whatever they sold, they refunded. So they literally got nothing. And the question is, how much more do you spend? How much more do you sink into it unless you can find a way to gain an audience? And you'd say, well, hey, we just make it free to play. Well, they did that, right? Because they had in their preview, they had it first. You had to buy it. Okay, that didn't attract enough customers. Okay, we'll just give it to PS Plus, subscribers. That didn't attract any customers. Hey, we'll just give it free to play. Go ahead, Steam and PlayStation. We'll just give it. It didn't attract any customers. At some point, you have to just take the hint. It's just not working. And what do you do to make it work? What changes would you make to actually make it work? And if the changes are substantial and you're looking at another 100 million, 200 million, and it doesn't work, how much money do you just keep sinking into this thing, right?
Right.
So at some point, you just have to look at the writing, and say, the writing on the wall. And say, yeah, what do you do, right? And a lot of us thought it's done. There's no way. How do you come back from that, right? It'd be one thing if you had in the preview, 200,000 players played it, and then they complained and said, okay, we're going away. They didn't really get that, right? So I don't know how you fix it, right? So they must have seen that and they're like, yeah, we can't. We aren't seeing the metrics where it shows this is the path to success. So much for that. So that studio is gone. The other one they closed was Savage, which was then renamed to Neon Koi, which was their mobile studio, and they decided they wanted to make a AAA mobile game. Okay, that's one way to go. I'm not sure. Jim Ryan said they're going to learn from the lessons of other companies. What lessons did you learn? How many AAA games in the mobile world exist that are successful?
Right.
What, you were going to be the one to break that mold?
Call of Duty Mobile in AAA, and it makes money hand over fist.
Yeah, but first it's Call of Duty.
Right.
It has this massive name associated with it. But even there, they're like, no, we strip it down. We're gonna make it sort of an indie-ish experience, and it's just gonna be one mode, the Battle Royale or whatever, right? I get that, but how do you decide that your thing is to make a God of War game and in mobile? Really? That's your okay? And obviously they saw that wasn't working either. I don't know what lessons they're trying to learn, because the ones they've learned so far have sucked. They're just not the only game that's worked so far is the sequel to Helldivers, right? Helldivers has been the one game that's worked. A premise that has a formula that people could actually latch onto. That's worked. And then of course they bungle that too by trying to say, oh, we need PSN subscribers, and so we need to put the PSN, and they didn't even do it, but they still have locked it away from 180 countries, which was the one thing they had, right? You can't get the game otherwise in those countries. You had it with Steam. They could get and you took it away from them. What are you doing? What lessons are they learning? I'm just trying to understand the lessons they're learning. When you're trying to put these games out, why aren't you seeing the thing to do is unrestrict them so that people can go buy them where they can't get your PlayStation, so you get those customers? I don't know what they're doing. So this is the 6th closure: Manchester, London, Japan, Pixel Opus, Neon Koi, and now Firewalk. I hear more is coming. So don't be shocked when you hear more. And I'm not talking small stuff either. I'm talking big stuff. This is unfortunately just the way things are. There is culling going on. Hiroki is not happy. He's not happy. Right? This is I gave you a chance. It's time to clean house. So we will see how things proceed. I would be I'd be concerned about first-party studios at PlayStation. Like the polar opposite of the news that we're getting from Xbox, right? Call of Duty comes out, biggest smash hit of Call of Duty history, right? All the great numbers. The polar opposite is going on the PlayStation side. When was the last time they had great news? Astro? Well, has anybody heard how many actual like unit sales they've had of that game?
No.
Usually they boast, we've hit this many million. I haven't heard a number. I'm waiting to hear the number. All right. We hear these. Oh, it was number 2 in the number 1 was Sea of Thieves, and it sold a total 1 million on PlayStation. 40 million on the other side, 1 million here. It's like, okay, that's cool, but that's not a high number. Tell me what they're actually selling. Have they beat 1 million? Have they been 2 million? Like, where's the win? What do they have as wins? Ghost of Yotai was going to be the next big thing. And they're like, oh, cool. We finally have Ghost of Tsushima. Oh. So it kind of it got mixed reviews on that trailer, right? I'm still excited for it. I don't care. I love Ghost of Tsushima, so I'm hoping it's good, right? But is that a win? Where are the wins? Where's the roadmap of games? Right? They've canceled Factions 2. They've canceled Twisted Metal. They canceled Spider-Man multiplayer. On and on. What's going on there? It's not good news. They're really just mismanaging their studios. The sad part is when you start going down this road, usually those studios start to falter because they change the personnel to be able to do the multiplayer stuff. And that kills the single player momentum they had. I hope that's not the case. I've been dreading that's what's going to happen. And these awesome studios they have will start to not be as good. It's happened over and over again. Every time somebody shifts over, right? Redfall was a classic example. Most of the people that made the other games, they're gone. And now you replace them with people that can make a multiplayer game. But that wasn't the focus. It failed miserably. And that's not what that studio should be doing. Lo and behold, the studio gets closed. So this is kind of the problem you run into, right? And I don't know what is going on there, how they're going to fix it, but I hear there's going to be more, and that it'll be sad, but it is what it is, right? We will see what happens. There's going to be some cleaning, and they need to, unfortunately, because they need to make money, and you can kind of hear it in their the thing that they put, the internal memo that they sent that was public. That they are looking to find ways to make money. Their games have to make money. The other thing they noted was that they're looking at strategically how to bring games to other platforms, not just platforms, which means not just PC. So at a minimum, like you're seeing with Lego Horizon, it's coming to Nintendo. Whether they resist putting on Xbox, they shouldn't. If they do that, that's on them, but they are looking to go beyond just PlayStation and PC. We will see what that means long term. And they should do that, right? Xbox said, we'll just bite the bullet, and rather than close studios, we're going to put our games elsewhere to make money, right? We just want our studios to survive. Game Pass is one vector, PC is another vector. If it goes to PlayStation, Nintendo, that's another vector. We're just trying to keep our studios going, so we will do whatever it takes to keep us, sustainable. And PlayStation needs to take a hard look at their business and say, swallow your pride. Do you want these studios to exist? If you want to continue to keep, killing them because your games cost too much, you have two choices: spend less. Will your customers be happy? Right? Or continue that, but then put it elsewhere, right? You need to make money. You have to make money. So put it in more places. So we will see what they do. You heard the CEO, not even Hiroki, the CEO say, I want it everywhere. I want those games everywhere that can compute. Right? That's what he said. Hiroki is all about the money. You guys make games, but you don't know how to make money. That's what he said. Okay. And now the hammer's coming down. And so we will see where this ends up. It's sad for the developers. It is what it is, but it's not like the writing wasn't on the wall. We saw this coming when Concord went down. I'm like, yeah, they're going to shut this down. I was expecting it kind of to be more in the, after Thanksgiving time frame, because it's usually when they go, like Merry Christmas, goodbye. But it was earlier. So which just means there's more coming later. So unfortunately that's just kind of how it goes, right? So
right.
Yeah, again, not surprising, right? But it's still sad, but not surprising.
Yeah. Well, and to be clear, because we did get a comment from Magnum earlier, which I get. I'm gonna pull it back up here. Actually, I went too far back. Hold on. Oh, there it is. So it says, kind of weird, laughing at people being laid off and studios closing.
I mean, I literally started with saying it's sad that they're losing their jobs.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Right. I hope they land somewhere. I mean, it is what it sucks. It does. It sucks. It really
but it
does.
is something we have to talk about because, and like you said, it's mismanagement. The reason they lost their jobs is because Sony either overextended. Sony, did a change from a leadership that's no longer there. He had his face on cookies, but he's no longer there and has a nice little parachute, and he's all nice and comfortable, relaxed, and not having to deal with anything at all, while everybody else is kind of suffering at what happened. And that's kind of like you said, there's probably more closings coming, and no one. Look,
if not layoffs, but yeah,
I got laid off earlier this year, and then I was lucky enough to get another job, and I'm very happy. In fact, so much so that I've lost like 75 pounds from switching jobs, from being work at home.
Amazing,
Thank you.
congrats, man.
To
Yes,
and
big
dude,
time.
and I still got more to go. But yeah, it's funny. Somebody the other day at work, they said something about, they looked at my badge because they were a new hire, and they're like, oh wow, you used to be fat. I was like, thanks, because my badge was from day one, and now I've lost a lot of weight, so I take it as a compliment. But anyway, it's kind of funny. But the point is, yeah, layoffs suck. They definitely. Thanks, Tony. That definitely can happen. And we're not, and we're not making fun that people lost their jobs. It sucks that people lost their jobs, but the reason people lost their jobs is because Sony doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. They've made mistakes, and hopefully, look, we need competition. Competition is best for the markets. If
I was gonna say, this is no different than when we rightfully point out that Halo Infinite's management did an atrocious job at setting up the live service aspect of that game. It's no different than calling out the expectations being set and missing on Hellblade 2 and what that game was, because I love that game, but like, people had the wrong thing in their mind, and they should have found a way to get in front of that. Critiquing businesses for their business approach is part of the right of the consumer, and that's a very different thing than mocking anyone for losing their job, which I don't think anybody here is in any way trying to do, nor would do, because that's a vile and awful thing. So I think there's a big difference, and I don't like when the vitriol intends to twist words. Hargeet didn't say he was happy about any of that, and wouldn't say that's not his character. And nobody here is celebrating people losing jobs. We're pointing out the mismanagement that has resulted in Concord and several other Sony projects going awry, no different than the mismanagement that led Xbox astray in the late 2010s. So or mid 2010s. So that's what's happening, and anybody that tries to twist that, I think, is doing a disservice to the conversation.
Yeah, and to go back to who called us out. He's a member of the community, a great guy, and we appreciate him being here. And he may have just, sometimes you hear a conversation, you're watching, sometimes I watch podcasts and I'm not necessarily paying full attention until something catches my ear, and that sometimes that can happen too. And I don't necessarily, he wasn't slamming on any of us, because he didn't say a bad comment to anybody or to Hargeet, but that's why I wanted to address it, because for the simple fact that I knew, we definitely would not be doing that here. And if it came across that way from anybody on the panel, I apologize, because that's not our intent. Our intent is to give you the news, and when sometimes, when as quote unquote the console wars rear their ugly head, you know, and you hear and you get, you know, beat the crap out of by ponies who are delusional, thinking that Sony is actually in a good place and that Sony's doing fantastic and there's going to stay the number one gaming service forever. You need to wake up. They haven't had their own first party game release in over a year and a half, and they're not expected to have anyone coming, you know, new game first party coming for at least another 6-7 months at the earliest that we know of. And as far as new game announcements and the change of the roadmap, we don't know any of that. Nobody knows any of that. No matter how many people or times, you know, call in and everybody will, you know, Game Pass is dead and blah blah blah. Sorry. Yeah. So, but anyway, the point is, you know, everybody has got their platform of choice, and that's cool. And our platform of choice, or at least mine, is Xbox. And I think Hargeet tends to enjoy the Xbox. Well, not necessarily the system because he plays mainly on PC, but still.
No, actually mostly play on Xbox console.
Oh, there you go. So there you go.
But I play PlayStation games on PC. I definitely buy their games. I just buy them on PC.
There you go. And Luke has a channel, you know, about the Xbox. So I'm gonna think that he's pretty much an Xbox player. Yeah, Scrub, but you play mainly on Xbox, or do you play other places as well?
Mainly Xbox.
Yeah, and I've got a PlayStation 5. Ghost of
Tsushima.
Did that one. Tsushima.
I played that on the 4. Yeah.
Yeah. I play that all the time. I like that game. It's a fun game. I like the stealth elements. That's what I do. You know, of course, I get belittled when you're in the game. You're like, you know, oh, it's not the way of the samurai, or whatever.
I often talk about, like, I cover Xbox with XEP and try to do a good job at it. I have, you know, game developer interviews and really try to cover Xbox, and that is where I do a good bit of my gaming. But I play games where they are.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a diehard Arkham fan, and so here I am on MetaQuest because that's where the latest Arkham game is, and it's good. And so I really, like, I have a preferred platform, yes, but I will play the games that I want to play with no apologies to anybody about where I play them. And I think that's how it should be. And anyone that evangelizes the idea that you have to play in one place and the other place is awful. No, PlayStation's not in a good place right now in terms of their business acumen. They're not, but they are set to launch the PS5 Pro, I think, next week. I'm curious to see how that impacts the industry, if at all. It'll be fascinating to watch. And Xbox is, I think, now on an upward trend after some rough times. Again, like Starfield and Hellblade didn't do what they wanted them to do. And despite many of us enjoying them, it didn't do what Black Ops is doing. And so it's a lot of times people mistake the preference of a platform to evangelization, and those aren't the same things.
Right. Exactly. Agreed. And like I said, not trying to beat a dead horse. I just want to make sure that we got that covered, because like I said, I love our community. I love our chat. You guys are amazing. We have over 300 people watching us live right now on X and on YouTube. So yeah, so over 220 on YouTube, and over 80 watching us now on X. So thank you all so much. It is awesome that you guys are here, and we appreciate you hanging out with us, including some great members of the community. I know Dreadpool's in the chat listening, lurking around, which is cool. Tony from Plume Network is there hanging out. Paris Lily is here hanging out a little bit, and so yeah, and Paris is absolutely amazing member of the community. And Paris has done some great work with Microsoft, and he's also done some really good work with Sony and PlayStation. So because he is a gamer, and you know, like I said, his opinion and his he's always welcome here. regardless. And there's some people that agree and disagree, and that's fine. But you just remember that Paris does have mod admin abilities, and if he doesn't like your shit you're saying, he has my permission to silence you anytime he wants to, because that's
Can I jump in on something there?
Of course, go right ahead.
I think Paris gets too many people go after him in the strangest ways.
Yeah, for no reason.
He's been a voice for gamers. He's been a voice for multiple platforms, celebrates the games he likes. He's had a long time running podcast, and whether you like or dislike, the lack of respect is beyond me. And I do not like people that take pot shots in order to punch upward and such. It really bothers me. I think
agreed.
It just irks me. Nobody needs to be your best friend. You don't have to agree with all their platforms, but going after personal people is just, it's unnecessary, especially for somebody who has taken the lumps through 10 plus years of content creation and still around and keeps doing it. And it's just beyond me that people are going after anyone. I think why you can disagree politely. It's just,
exactly.
I don't like it. I can't
exactly. Just be nice. And the nice thing about Paris is he's willing to listen to other viewpoints, and then he'll give his thoughts on it, and that's cool. And I think that's wonderful. So there.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, I see, he said it's fine. I'm used to people being upset with me, but that's the part that sucks. Like, he shouldn't have to be. You shouldn't have to be, Paris. Like, it's you've been doing this. You've been a role model for so many of us.
Yes.
You shouldn't have to be fine with people there. Like, it's that's the part that stinks, because I look up to you. I see so many other content creators that do, and it's just a bummer. And so that's the part that I think it needs to be called out more by other content creators, because one way or another, like, they find a reason to be upset. No, man, if I had the chance to play some of play some of the stuff early that you did, or host an Xbox panel, or, you know, put on the shades and say Danger Zone, like, those are core memories now for Xbox gamers, right?
Exactly.
Like why is anybody going after it? And it's not just Paris. This happens too often across the board. And so I don't know. It's petty and it bothers me. And I don't know that I have a thesis beyond shut up.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and one of the nicest people in the community is Craig, who's Mr. Boomstick XL. Double Bear Gaming, super nice. He's got over 15,000 subscribers now. Congratulations on him. He just celebrated 7 years today of being of being a YouTuber. 7 years. Of course, he makes the comment that my first video is horrible, and I watched it. It's not great, but you know,
most
you
people
gotta start
are
somewhere. You got to start somewhere. That's the way I look at it. Got to start somewhere. I mean, shit. I did podcasting for almost 5 years, but on iTunes before I even came to YouTube. So there you go.
XEP had its 5-year anniversary this week or last week, and then I'm on the eve of episode 250 right now, and it's like I don't have 200 plus people watching me on YouTube when I do, but when I get 10 or 20, like that feels like $1 million, and it's dope. And like I got to sit at the table with Hargeet in LA and sit there with all the Boomstick, and I got to
Luke
Paris. Yeah,
well deserved, because you do great content, sir.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you. I really do. And the last thing I'll say on Paris is, if you should definitely check out Paris's YouTube channel. He is now doing some solo stuff himself, putting out some great content occasionally on his own channel. Subscribe to his channel, and hit the button on there, the bell icon, so that you'll be notified whenever he does drop new content. Some of it's really fascinating stuff. So you definitely you get some good insight. So Paris, we salute you, sir. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And like I said, he does have the power of mod, so don't give him any lumps, because he'll lump back. And we encourage that, as it were. And that's why everybody that comes on my show, I do my best to make sure that I make them a mod, at least during the episode, because sometimes it does drop out. My camera keeps turning off me. I have no idea why. Hello, I'm back. I'm not going away, but my camera keeps shutting off. And then it goes, your camera is disconnected. No, it's not. Stop it. Anyway, but yeah, it's we're having a great show. We still have some more time, and then oh, look, Adidas. Thank you, buddy. Adidas 20, my man. He has re-upped his membership. Look at that, Hargeet. 13 months he's been a member. That's awesome.
I think Addy found my Adidas found XEP because I was on here, WebDave, because he's been kind enough to show up in my chat before.
Yes,
and it's one of those cool things that just gets to happen.
Oh, Adidas is great. He is absolutely a great guy. Super nice. There's a lot of great members of the community. And it's just him and like Abdel, 114, and just other amazing members of the community that come out time after time. Anyway, Fonz Gaming is stopped in tonight for a little bit too, which is always great to have the Fonz in here. So yeah. Anyway, I've just totally lost control of the show, but we have over 300 people watching us live right now. Thank you all so much. If you get a chance, please hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're watching us on X, retweet it, let people know, or exit, or whatever you call it. I don't know what to say. Retweet, even though it's X, I don't know, but yeah, share it out and let everybody know. Fonz does his show Wednesday nights. Isn't that right, Hargeet? You guys every Wednesday night? Tell everybody about that real quick, so it's fresh on our head.
Yeah, so 10 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time or 7 p.m. Pacific. We have GameStalk Live on Fonz Gaming Channel.
There you go. So you can see Fonz and Hargeet every Wednesday night. Check that out. And then of course Albert G says, at least we still have Hargeet here. Exactly. and thanks to Hargeet for joining me in this crusade. But just let you a quick reminder: we are doing episode 100 of this show. Will be of course, Paris. I'll send you the link. Paris wants to hop on, so I'm gonna send him the link real quick, and then but while I'm sending it to him, I'm gonna say that I lost my train of thought. Sorry, popped up.
So Scrub Nurse's turn, right? We haven't heard.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's hear from Scrub Nurse while I'm bringing him in.
On the game being shut down
on the two studios.
Yeah. Well, like I've said in other podcasts, I've said it other times. I just think this game, if they say it took them 8 years for this game to come out, it just came out like probably about 4 to 5 years too late. We always talk about Microsoft a lot of times, how they are leading the industry, and they're a lot very forward thinking, and then a lot of the stuff that they do, it just came too early and it didn't work out. I mean, look how many people who were complaining when you got the Xbox One, and then you got a Kinect in it, and it's gonna watch you, it's gonna listen to everything you do, and now everybody has Alexa or they have Siri on their phone and they talk to it all the time. Their phones are listening to them 24/7. Their Ring cameras listen to them 24/7. Their Google Pods and iHomes are listening to them 24/7. Anytime you get an app on your phone and it says, do you agree to us to allow this, they ask, we want access to your pictures, your microphone, and all this. This is, why do you need all of that? Everything's listening to you, but when Xbox did it with the Kinect, it was just a little too early. Lots of different things they did with coming out in 2013 and showing how you got to log online every 24 hours or whatever to keep everything updated. Guess what everybody does every time they play their games on their consoles? They do it now, but nobody even cares about it anymore. But and I just think that especially with Firewalk Studios and everything, to have a game as a service game that is pretty much close to an Overwatch as you can get without it being Overwatch, and it was not free to play, and then you had it locked down as an exclusive. All those things hurt it. And then before it came out, you had backlash for a lot of people, especially even from the Sony and PlayStation fan base when they were acting by the characters. And then they just a lot of different societal things that people did not like, or different sites were pushing and saying this game is going to be horrible. When you put all those things together, it just mixes for a bad situation. I think even if it would have been free to play, I don't think it would have made it. We're just about to lose another first-person shooter like X-Defiant that's free to play. It came out 2-3 months before Call of Duty. It is wiped out. They said it's going to close it after 3 to 4 seasons. I doubt it will ever get to that. This game, as far as player base, there's so many games that if you give it time and you work hard to give the people what they want to work out. Look at Rainbow Six Siege. It was not doing good for a year and a half almost. For Honor, that game took a long time for it to catch up, and then they had their player base and it's still working. Sea of Thieves was a game that wasn't critically acclaimed. It was people trash, but that trashed it in the beginning for what they thought it was, the lack of content. But over time, it's so big, like we talked about earlier, 1 million paid for the game on PlayStation, and then all the millions of people who've already played it on Xbox. But when you've poured that much money into a game, now these companies are looking for their quarterly profits and looking for their return. You've dumped all that money in there. You need a player base to pay for all the different add-ons, the season passes, the outfits, and you're not getting the fan base. That hurts. Any game like that, I almost think any game as a service that's going to be strictly games as a service, for it to work these days, needs to be free to play, and it also needs to be multi-plat. If your brand if it's a brand new IP. So I hate that it's happening, but a lot of it's just timing and poor management. It just came out way too late.
Remind me to talk about multi-plat, because I know Webb wants to introduce Paris, but that's on my mind. Multi-plat.
Yeah, we'll come back to you on that, Rick, I promise. Paris Lily, welcome to the chat. We did get a super chat that's addressed to you if you want us to read that.
I see it. I'm looking at it right now. You want me to read it? I'll read it.
You can go right ahead.
So BT Maverick 707 is asking me, $5 super chat. Thank you for the $5 super chat. He is asking me, Paris, are you getting the new Metro VR game November 7th? As a fellow VR player, I haven't seen a game with that fidelity interaction since Half-Life Alyx. I will be honest with you. Will I play it on November 7th? Probably not. Just there's a lot going on right now. But yeah, it's on my radar, 100%. And I'll probably play it on MetaQuest. I don't think I'll get this on PSVR 2. So I'll play it on MetaQuest 3. But yeah, to your point, this is probably the best looking game I've seen since Half-Life Alyx, and I've been lucky enough that I've had a chance to play Half-Life Alyx now in VR, and that is the definitive VR game, 100%. And I think this might challenge. I'm not even going to say challenge, because Half-Life Alyx, Valve did a lot with that, but I think this is going to be a very good VR game with Metro. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out.
Nice, very nice. All right, sir, the floor is yours. What's going on, buddy? What's on your mind?
Nothing. Again, Dave, I just appreciate you, man. I appreciate all that you do. You do the show weekly, and you highlight people from the community to bring them on here to talk about gaming, and ultimately that's what it's all about. I've seen some of the comments in the chat, and I've heard the comments as far as I go, and I'll just say I'm fine. Trust me, the criticism and everything that I get just goes with the territory of it. Sure, I'm obviously, I like Xbox. I've done a lot with Xbox. That's not a secret at this point. But I just love games. Yeah. Honestly, I just love games. And the fact that I'm able to do things with PlayStation and other companies as well is a blessing, number one. But it's also, I'm very thankful for that, because it just means that my opinion is appreciated as far as that goes. It's not a secret. I'm reviewing the PlayStation 5 Pro. I will have that out at a later date. You might want to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm just saying, there might be stuff soon. You never know.
Nice.
But but I just look at it as, the fact that I get these opportunities, I'm very lucky. Yes. I'm blessed to have those opportunities, and I've been on your show a few times. Obviously, I'm here chatting right now. And I always say this, anybody in the chat, anybody that's on this panel, all our opinions matter. All our opinions matter. I've just been lucky. I cannot stress that enough. I'm just lucky that I've been in a position to where I've gotten these opportunities to cover these games, be able to cover this hardware, do various things that I've been able to do. But at the end of the day, I lurk. I'm a lurker, and I listen to what's being said in the community. I don't always agree, Hargeet. I don't always agree with everything, but I respect everyone's opinion. I mean, we're all fans of gaming, man. We just want awesome games. We want Xbox to succeed. We want all of them to succeed, honestly. But when it comes time to critique any of them, you critique them. My only thing is just do it respectfully. That's all I ever say as far as that stuff goes. I mean, I know you guys were talking about Concord and all that a little bit before. I mean, it's very unfortunate. I do think that's a failure of leadership that Firewalk had to go away. I think that game could have had potential, and people can pull the receipts. I was even saying in real time when that beta came out, I was like, don't put this game out right now. Delay it, listen to feedback. You need to make this free to play. You need to add some kind of single player campaign to this. This is not going to work. I was saying that in the moment. And ultimately, we obviously saw what happened. This, crazy enough, this is probably one of the biggest failures in gaming history with Concord. That's on PlayStation. That's on their leadership that this happened. And I understand people's frustration, that are fans of Xbox going, why is PlayStation not being held accountable for this? Why is Herman Holtz not getting all the criticism that a Phil Spencer would get? I think the difference is Phil Spencer is willing to go on a show and admit his mistakes. Yeah. Whereas you don't see that from PlayStation. And look, right, wrong, indifferent, or whatever the case may be. I mean, again, Herman Holtz wasn't necessarily the CEO when Concord was greenlit, right? Right. But you're all obviously going to defend your IPs. You're going to defend your studios. You want to see them succeed. So I get the positive comments that were happening leading up to the launch of Concord. I'll just say this about PlayStation since I'm talking about that. Yeah, they got Ghost of Yotai coming, like I said in the chat. That's the only game that we know about. But they need to communicate better as we go into 2025 about what their roadmap looks like. Maybe they don't know. Maybe it's not solidified. Why they've not talked about it, I don't know. But all the criticism that Xbox has gotten over the past few years about their particular roadmap, the same thing can be held to PlayStation right now because we just simply don't know. What new games they have coming. They need to start talking about it. When you look at Xbox's roadmap over the next couple of years, it's pretty solid. 2025 is going to be a good year for them. I mean, South of Midnight, Fable, as examples, are going to be great games for them. We know Gears of War E-Day is coming. We know Halo Studios is working on a new Halo, stuff like that. Clearly Playground isn't only working on Fable. We're probably going to get another Forza Horizon at some point. But between Bethesda, Activision, and Xbox Game Studios, we know if you're a fan of Xbox, if you're a fan of Game Pass, all that kind of stuff, you are going to be taken care of in the next few years. There's a lot of games coming. Like you're showing this Black Ops 6 footage right now. This all I've been playing, other than other stuff that I have to play for coverage. I mean, this is all I play in my free time because I'm really enjoying this Call of Duty. I think this is the best Call of Duty that Activision has put out, honestly, in probably about 4 or 5 years, in my personal opinion. So, I say it all the time. Xbox Game Pass is the best value in gaming. And I know a certain sector of the community gets mad when I say it, but it's the truth. It is. I mean, if you're a consumer, because we're consumers, we don't work at Xbox, right? That is Amy Hood, Phil Spencer, and Sarah Bond's problem to figure out the financials. They ain't my problem. You know what I mean? My only goal is give me great games to play. And I think they've done a pretty good job here in the second half of 2024, giving us a lot of content. And as we go into 2025, I don't see that slowing down. Obviously, Avowed's going to kick off, the new year for them. Like I already mentioned, South of Midnight, Fable, things like that are coming. So if you're a Game Pass subscriber, if you're a fan of Xbox, you're going to have stuff to play. Now, what are they going to do about hardware in the next couple of years? Let's see. Obviously, the handheld is the worst kept secret in the industry. We know we're going to get a handheld at some point. When we get it is the bigger question. But as far as the games go, Xbox is going to be fine. And I know this show is more Xbox centric and, a lot of fans of Xbox. I wouldn't worry. I think they're going to be fine. I mean, they clearly had a lot of stumbles over the past few years. Clearly, the beginning of this year with their new strategy about putting some games on the competitors' platforms has not rubbed the community the right way.
Right.
But I think ultimately you're going to be fine. If you like Xbox, they're going to keep making hardware. You're going to get games. Game Pass is going to be taken care of. You're going to be fine, in my personal opinion.
There you go. There you go. Well, Paris, thank you so much for jumping on, buddy. We appreciate you more than you know. Like I said, I say it all the time. We're blessed to have such amazing content creators and members of the community, and that the guys of your caliber will come on the show and say your piece is greatly appreciated. So I just want you to don't want to take lightly of that at all, because it's it's important that we hear voices from everybody. And that you take the time to jump on with us occasionally from time to time is greatly appreciated. So please,
I hear you, and I just want to say this before I jump out of here. Yeah. Like I got to meet Luke in person at Summer Game Fest. Hargeet is on like 50,000 podcasts. I've met him over the past few years, but I hear what you say, and I trust me, I appreciate it. But at the end of the day, man, we're all just gamers. Yep. We are. We just like games. We just like talking about games. And I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I keep saying it, but it's true. I'm just lucky. I just feel I'm very lucky to have gotten opportunities that I have. But what you do, what everybody on this panel does, what people in the chat are doing, we're all the same. All our opinions are valid. I understand the frustrations that we see in the community. And I'll just say this, I'm fortunate enough that I've had a peek behind the curtain. So I may know things that other people don't know. And I'm not saying that to throw in anyone's face. I'm just trying to say that you have to remember, at the end of the day, this is a business. They got to make money. They're doing things that they need to do to remain profitable and everything that goes in that machine of being a business. But ultimately, they're going to take care of us. We're going to get good games. We're starting to get good games. Like, I just previewed Indiana Jones. I think people that are fans of Indiana Jones are going to be taken care of again. That's going to be a great game. Stalker 2 is going to be a sleeper hit for Game of the Year. It won't win, but it's going to be a very solid game. Right, Avowed obviously coming out early next year. Got to play previews Flight Sim. If you're into Flight Sim, you're going to love Flight Sim 2024. We obviously got Black Ops 6 right now. There's a ton of stuff coming that people should be excited about to play from Xbox Game Studios, from Bethesda, from Activision, and the third-party stuff that they're going to put into Game Pass. I sound like a goddamn commercial right now, but it's just the truth. It's just the truth. I mean, that's just on the Xbox side. And again, we know we're getting Switch 2 next year. So that 3D Mario is going to be a banger, whatever it's going to be, right? Obviously, we like I said at the top, PlayStation needs to talk more. We're going to get Ghosts. Death Stranding 2 is going to come next year, but they need to talk about more stuff that's coming from them, because, I mean, obviously reviews for the PlayStation Pro are going to come out, but it's going to be talking about games that we've already played. Yeah. So I need to see new games, obviously, coming from PlayStation as well. So we'll see.
Well, hopefully we'll hear from them at the award show.
Can I say this, because I'm looking at this, and he's probably being tongue in cheek, but somebody's saying in the chat, Paris knows that Xbox is going full third party. No, they're not. They're not. Don't worry about
they're
that.
Not. Yeah, I can tell you that, and I'm not an insider. Goodness, because that doesn't make sense. But yeah, so I guess the last thing I'll say is that hopefully I'm planning on it, and we'll see what happens. But I guess the quote unquote June time of year again with the Summer Game Fest and all that kind of stuff, the stuff that might happen. Hopefully Xbox is going to do something again at that time of year, right around that same time, that same area. But I'm planning on going this year. So I've been to a couple of E3s, but those were many, many, many years ago. So it's time for me to get back out there and have a little fun and meet all these great members of the community. So hopefully I'll get to meet you if you're there. So.
No, yeah. If and or when they do something in June, I'll be there. I'm going to be at the Game Awards in December as well, which I've had a couple people reach out to me already about meeting up. So if you're going to be in LA in December for the Game Awards, absolutely hit me up, because I'd love to say hello. But and I'll say this and I'll get out of here. Yeah. But I mean, that's the whole thing. That's why I love still doing this. You know, even though I've been doing this for a super long time, it's the community, man. It's the in-person stuff. It was the Summer Game Fest stuff. It was, like I said, it was meeting Luke. Hargeet, I see Hargeet's everywhere, so he don't even count it at this point. But it's seeing people in person.
Yeah.
Meeting people in person, having real conversations, right? Versus this online nonsense that we see a lot where people say crazy stuff just to say it. But in person, it's always a good time. It's always just everyone's happy being around each other. We're talking games because we're all together about the thing that we love to do, about the passion that we have, which is gaming. There's no, well, Xbox or Play. No one's talking about that stuff. It's just about having fun, right? So, yeah man, if you come out next year, I really look forward to that. Make sure, you know, let me know because I will make it a point so that we can meet up, hang out, you know, have a good time. And like I said, anybody's in the chat watching this, if you're at the Game Awards in December, I'll be there too. Like I said, like I've told a few people already, go to the JW. JW is the JW Marriott Hotel, which is in LA Live. That is where everybody goes before the Game Awards and after the Game Awards. So if you want to see all these people that you've heard about in the industry, they will be at the JW after the Game Awards. I'm just letting you know that right now. So if you want to have a face-to-face with someone, shake somebody's hand or whatever the case, that's the place to be. But yeah, it's going to be a good end of the year. And like I said, I'm excited for 2025. I think it's going to be a good game year as well. And Dave, I'll just say again, I appreciate what you do, you know, every week consistently doing this show. And like I said, I lurk more than I comment. I'll just let you know that. I watch more than you know.
I appreciate that.
You know, and this is what the community is all about, man. Is just getting us together, talking games and having fun. So thank you for having me up.
You're welcome, sir, and thank you again, Paris. We appreciate you jumping on. Shout out to Paris, man. Thank you for joining us, and have a great night, sir.
You too. Thank you for having me up.
See you, Paris.
Right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, cool. Yeah, super nice. Paris is one of a kind, and like I said, people love him, some people hate him, some people whatever. But all I can say is he's always welcome here, and we will let him speak his mind. Luke, we wanted to go back to you on multiplayer. I believe that was what we were talking about.
Well,
right?
multi-plat, being multi-plat.
Yes.
I was thinking about, you know, my big thing is like I cover Xbox. I play games where they are and available. But I was thinking about Concord failed. It was an exclusive game, and nobody had really asked for a hero shooter. And I think that had its own kind of well-documented problems. But I also look at a game like Horizon, the VR Horizon game. Did not do well in the way that they were hoping it would in terms of supporting PSVR 2 and then wanting it to do super well. Had that game been on MetaQuest, had it been on, I'm blanking on all the other headsets right now, but had it been in more places, I wonder if more people would have noted it, because neither Concord nor that Horizon game were poorly made, right? Like they weren't unplayable, they weren't ugly, they weren't janky messes, that kind of thing. And I wonder if, you know, had these launched into Steam or been available in more places in a similar way to how Helldivers was, maybe they would have seen more success. And so I'm wondering if you're looking at how Xbox is deciding to take many games multi-platform or keep games multi-platform, and then you look at some of the games that Sony has struggled with, maybe they are rethinking their approach. It's not a one-to-one in any case, right? Like you can't obviously say Concord exclusive, Black Ops not exclusive. That's why. That's not what I mean. More just I wanted everybody to think about the idea of these live service games with the intention to have big multiplayer communities. Maybe they need to be in more than one place. And it was just, it's just on my mind as something to think about.
Well, Concord did launch on Steam as well. I'm pretty sure it launched on Steam as well.
Yeah, it did.
It did. Okay.
But the numbers weren't high, like 2,500 or something like that max, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah, I think
and
total
after
sales
beta,
was like 10,000 on Steam and then 15,000 on PlayStation.
And after the beta, they should have known better. Paris, what he said is well said, and they should have done a better job at hearing feedback and reevaluating what the game should be. And it stinks because as the leadership let them down, and now people are out of the job. And I criticize that aspect in that leadership in the same way that I would criticize any Xbox leadership that made similar choices, right? Like that's part of it as a consumer. I think we get the right to critique the business, but I just wanted to point that out. It's something that's on my mind. I don't know that I've fully thought it through, and so anyone's welcome to expand on it or, just lodge it for later. But I look at the VR space because that's where I'm enjoying right now, where you've got Metro on the way, the new Alien game on the way, where I'm playing the Arkham Shadow game, which is certainly pushing MetaQuests. If Arkham Shadow was available on PSVR 2, if it was available in more places, would it get even more attention? I wonder. And I wish they would have done that with the Horizon game that went into VR.
Yeah, that one's an odd one to me because like VR is such a niche area anyways. Why even bother with exclusivity?
It's a strange choice. Like they were trying to push PSVR 2 tech, which is for all intents and purposes quite good. But like, I don't know. I don't think it helped. And they certainly I feel like they've abandoned their VR pursuits.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm recency bias, having just gotten into VR, loving Arkham, so excited for Metro, so excited for Alien. So like in that space, I'm recency bias, but it does occur to me multiple times over. They've made good games, but people don't know about it.
Yeah, and Arkham though, I just don't understand why it's locked to one, right? Why not just be multi-plat? I guess maybe it's a short-term thing, but it's just like
it's got to be.
Why not?
I mean, it's moving MetaQuest 3S. It launched with MetaQuest 3S, and like if you buy a MetaQuest, you get Arkham right now. Just you get it. And I think it's just pushing that new tech, and because it's a space that they want more units out there, because the Meta division is losing money despite good sales of Quest 3 and 3S. I think that's why. But my voice is going. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But I will absolutely say $300 for a Quest 3S, which is how I started this gen, or started VR. Incredible entry point. And like you get Arkham, and that's got to be moving sales on some level. But I fully expect to see it in other places. Hope they do the same with the Horizon game. And Astro, the VR, Astro VR. Get them off of one place. Put them in more places.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. The people say that the Astro game was pretty good in VR.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a few other games that are good in VR. My son, he's huge into VR. Plays it all the time. Cool. He does the VR chat and all that kind of stuff. He brought it up here one night and hooked it up, and I was like, 5 minutes, and I was just like, nah, it's just not for me. But I mean, it's cool. It's not for everybody. But that's the wonderful thing about gaming.
It took Batman for me to be a believer, like truly.
There you go.
Because I was always, it's not for me. And then that's where Arkham was. And at the Summer Game Fest, I ran into the director. Didn't know it was him. I just said, hey, thanks for making him Arkham. I love Batman. He's like, do you have a Quest? I was like, I don't, man. Showed up at my door. Like, holy goodness. And then I'm buying up to the better version and giving that one, the 3S, away just because I want more people to check it out. It takes the game you want, that one game, that one thing, to get some people in, and that's what it did for me.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, it's good. It's a good community we're in, man.
Yes.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. I just walked up and said, hey, thanks for making the games that I love. Thanks for existing in that space. He's like, I'm gonna take care of you. Oh, thank you. Again, thank you. And Paris is right. When you're in those in-person events, it just means the world to get to shake that person's hand, see him face to face. And sometimes things don't always come out in the social spaces or in the video or whatnot. And then when you sit down and have a meal with somebody or share a drink and have the conversation, meet their wife, meet their partner, meet their podcasting brethren, it changes you, and you realize that, oh, we're all just celebrating games. And that's the coolest part.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that by that time that Randall Thor 19 is ready to turn on his camera for a little bit and actually make it out to a show. He talked about that. He's on his weight loss journey as well. He's doing really good. Yes, that's our friend Randall Thor 19,
the man with the million.
Oh yeah. So yeah, he's and so that's cool. He wants to better himself and everything too. But before he comes back, he will get on camera, guys. Randall's super nice guy, and much respect to him too. So hopefully we'll get to meet him too. But I'm hopefully gonna meet Hargeet in person, and just anybody that's there. I'll be glad to, as long as I'll fanboy out for a few minutes on them. If they're okay with that, I'll be all right. Be like, "Ooh, Dave's a stalker." No, I'm not gonna stalk. But I might try and get some group shots, or hey, what's up, man? And I'm not. I mean, if I meet some of his execs and stuff, cool. But I'm not. I really want to meet the other content creators. That's my goal, is to meet some people like that, and just kind of be there for the thing. I remember one of the E3s I went to was the E3 that they made the announcement of, and before it got released, which was Steel Battalion, and they had 20 Steel Battalions console things set up, and I get to play one for like an hour, and I was like, of course, I had to buy one, and now my son, he actually still plays. They have modded versions that they play on PC, and they stream every couple of days. They have a where they play and stuff, and he still plays to this day. It's crazy. He has my old Steel Battalion setup. It's pretty cool. I was like, wow, that thing still works. Yeah, it still works. But so that was one of those memories I'll have forever. And being at an E3 live is the loudest damn thing you could ever imagine, because everybody's fighting for your attention. The arena is bigger than a football field, and there's multiple layers to it, multiple different sections you go into, and every section or booth, like the Microsoft booth, Sony booth, all that kind of stuff, it was like louder than an AC/DC concert. It being up against the speakers, and you're like at 10 feet, and you're in it, and it's like, oh my god, it's so loud, so loud. But I get from there, I got like an autograph and met let's see, the creator of Spawn.
Todd McFarlane.
Yeah, yep.
Yes, that's so cool.
Autograph. Yeah, exactly. I met Stan Lee at one of those. I met let's see, what was the guy that was a host of was it that TV show G something?
G4.
Yeah. But Adam Sessler, I got to meet him. It was so funny because he walked by and I was like, Adam, because it was an impulse to say it. And he stopped. He's like, turned around. He's like, oh, hey, man. He was with a whole bunch of people, and he come over and said hi and talked to me for a few minutes. It was really cool. And after I said it, I was like, oh, man, I should have kept my mouth shut. But I was surprised to see him, and I just yelled that out. And he was super nice. So that kind of crazy stuff. But like I said, E3s, lots of good memories for that. And I'm hoping to have that kind of stuff again. And everybody on the show is like, why are you rambling, Dave? Well, it's time of night. We're only over 2 hours in. We got like 250 people still listening to us. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, guys.
Thank you so much.
What we do appreciate you being here. I want to see. I know this is off topic. I'm kind of going off the list. But is anybody else excited for this game besides me? Genshin Impact.
I'm happy that you're excited, my friend.
I'm so excited.
I've never played it, but no, I'm not excited about it. But you never know. Something might get me to play, but I doubt it.
It's gonna be a
but
Game
I'm
Pass.
happy for the folks who love it.
It'll be free in Game Pass. You could at least try it out.
At least try it. That's what I'm saying. I can always try it.
Oh, play it 10 minutes. Be like, nuke. You never know.
It is what it is. That's the best part about it. I mean, I've been before this came out, Call of Duty, I was playing the Fractured But Whole South Park game. It was in Game Pass, and man, that game is awesome.
There you go.
I gotta go back and finish it, but there's always something good in Game Pass, so might as well try it.
Exactly. For sure. Guys, what a great show. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We're gonna go around the horn, and we'll start with Luke, since we got him up there in the corner.
Yeah.
Luke, buddy, please tell everybody where they can reach out to you, where they can find you, and everything's gonna be in the description below. And Scrubbers, just so you know, I did already add your Twitch. If somebody hits refresh, then it is actually already in the description below.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, dude. You're welcome. Luke, please tell everybody where they can reach out to you, where they can find you on social media.
Absolutely. So I will say first, thank you for having me, because it's a pleasure. I've been on podcasting, Tunnel Vision, just my show for October, and so it's nice to get back out there. October is just busy for me. Of course. I will say to anybody that's listening, I will ask you, because I get 20 people in my live shows, so I would love have more of you here. I'm at episode 250 next week. This coming Saturday will be episode 250, 5-year anniversary, plus 125 plus developer interviews. Most recently was the Dead by Daylight creative director. I have the Retro Realms guys that did the Halloween and Ash vs. Evil Dead game coming up. I just love covering games, and I would love for you guys to check it out. I've seen a few common faces in the chat. Please check out XEP, the Xbox Expansion Pass. I'm really proud of it. It's a labor of love. Means the world when people do show up and hit the like button. And then I'm on socials at Insipid Ghost, and I would love for you guys to find me there. There you go.
There you go. There you go. And I tell you something too. Being on Saturday, a lot of shows are on Saturday as well. If for some reason you don't get to watch your show live, watch the replay and hit the like button and share it out with your friends, because that's just for us too. I mean, we're a good audience tonight. We greatly appreciate that. But there's times when our replays have gotten 5,000 views within a week, and that can happen easily. We talked about it last week, Hargeet. The episode where Tim Dog came out. I think mentioned that where he came out as a turned pony or whatever he did, went to the dark side, whatever you want to call it. It was on this show that he did that, and that was crazy. And that show was up to 19,000 views. So yeah, that particular episode, and it's still there if you guys want to check that out. So there you go. But definitely give Luke a chance, man. You guys will not be disappointed. It is my camera did it again. It is a great show, and he has a lot of good guests on there on occasion, and also has a great co-host as well too. Check it out. Logan's pretty awesome. So yeah, definitely want to check that out. Scrub Nurse, my man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love having you on, man. You were absolutely fantastic tonight. Thank you so much for sharing all your insight on that. I knew it would be good to have you on, and you did not disappoint at all. Please tell everybody where they can reach out to you, where they can find you, and where they can watch your Twitch channel too, when you stream and stuff.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, I appreciate you having me. You know, I enjoy being on here. You reach out. If I can be here, I'll be here. You can find me, like it's down in the description. I have my Twitch is scrub_nurse. Then also my Twitter is scrub_nurse with the number 3 behind it. We do Gaming Beyond the Box podcast with Wilmy Hood. That's on hiatus. So right now I am on 108 Dragons TV on Saturday evenings. That is 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. Hargeet's been on there with me several times. You know, Hargeet's everywhere. So I even put 108 Dragons TV down there in the chat too, if you want to check us out whenever we do our shows on Saturday nights. And then I just started TikTok, where I can drop some of my clips from Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
And so go check that out. So the TikTok is at scrub_nurse_ at the end of it. But yeah, I'm having fun doing Twitch. Like I said, a lot of times if I'm playing by myself, it's going to be a lot of sweaty lobbies. You're going to see a lot of dying. That video that I put up there, I had some great matches. Even my worst matches, I was positive, but you know, I'm not dropping nukes every other game. So if that's what you're looking for, that's not what I had there. But we're having fun. I kind of show you how I play the game, new stuff that'll make it interesting, how you can maybe get your internet to work faster. Luke, like I said, I explain the movement and whatever maps I'm on, I explain what's the best ways to use it, if depending on your gameplay. So yeah, please come check it out at Twitch. And like I said, thank you for having me again, WEBDAVE. I appreciate being on the show. We always have a great panel when I'm here, and the chat's awesome. So I'll check you guys on the next go round. Thank y'all.
You're welcome, buddy. Thank you. And just so you know, I did actually add in the description below. I also added the not only your Twitch stream, but I also added the 108 Dragons link as well. Is right there in your guest part bio. Oh, you're welcome, dude. I always like to keep it up to date as possible for everybody. So again, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you more than you know. Let's see here. And also, let's get to, in case you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm trying to hit the right button. There we go. So, Hargeet Chani, my man. What's up, buddy? Please tell everybody where they can reach out to you, where they can not find you on social media. I'm just kidding. But where they can definitely find you on Discord. You can definitely reach out to him there. That's how I reach out to him.
Yeah, so I'm H Chani on Discord. H Chani on Xbox as well. You can subscribe to my channel. It's Hargeet Chani 1 on YouTube. And if you want to get my book, Emergence, it's at shop.chani.us. Got some merch. I'm wearing the shirt. You can see the mug that WEBDAVE's got. Check that out. And yeah, next up it'll be Wednesday with Boom at 7 p.m. US Eastern Time. That's Double Barrel Gaming. We'll be doing primetime gaming, and then as we said before, with Fonz at 10 p.m. US Eastern Time on Fonz Gaming, we'll do GameStop Live. So check that out.
There you go, guys. Thanks again for joining us. We greatly appreciate the panel and everybody that was in the chat. Stop by tonight. Thanks to Paris Lily for jumping on for a little bit and talking some gaming with us. Appreciate him doing that. And please, if you don't mind, hit the like button on this. We've got over 120 something likes so far, so it'd be great to hit the 200 likes. It always helps the algorithm, as it were. And share it out and subscribe. If you're not a member, please subscribe, because every week we do another show. And next week we're going to have Holly, that blue number, is going to be here, as well as somebody else. I'm still working on that person. So, but Holly's definitely going to be here along with Hargeet Chani. So we'd love to have you guys jump back and join us for that one. She is absolutely fantastic. And so, yeah, so there we go. Guys, thanks again for being here. Thanks to everybody for joining us here on the Gamers Council.
Game over.